Good afternoon, and welcome to the Prince George's Community Federal Credit Union 2018 Lunch and Learn series. Today's presentation is brought to you in partnership with Coffee, a nationwide financial coaching and education center focusing on improving the financial health of individuals. As the premier credit union of Prince George's County, they have joined with Coffee to expand their mission of providing quality financial education to their community and lending insight into credit management, home ownership, and money management. Prince George's Community Federal Credit Union is a full-service financial institution serving anyone who lives, works, or worships in Prince George's County, Maryland. They are one of the county's best-kept secrets with competitive loan and savings rates, as well as discounts to national retailers. They currently serve over 16,000 members in the area and welcome you to come and experience the benefits of membership as well. Later on in the presentation, I will display their contact information and answer any specific questions you may have concerning your financial needs. It's not too late to invite your friends and colleagues to join today's webinar. You should have received an email about 60 minutes ago, and in that email is a link that you can pass along. Please note that today's webinar is live and all phone lines have been muted. If you have questions, please feel free to type it into the question box on the right-hand side of your menu bar. All questions are private and will be addressed at the end of our discussion. We will be offering a free 60-minute financial coaching session with the completion of 3 webinars. More information will be given at the end of today's presentation. Lastly, a recording of today's session will be available later on today. Details will be sent to your email following the presentation. And with that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Charmaine Williams, and I will be your presenter today. We're going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to discuss is debt in America. There are 5 top types of debt in America, and those start at number 1 with mortgages, top type of debt. Credit card debt is number 2. Auto loans is number 3. Student loans is number 4, which is surprising since we're over $1.3 trillion in debt. And number 5 is medical debt. So those are the top types of debt that are in America. So this presentation today is about organizing your finances for the new year. So if you're going to do that, the first thing you want to do is review your finances. You want to go over your bank and credit card statements because I'm pretty sure there was a lot of shopping that was done during the holidays. And you want to make sure that you recognize all of the charges. Then you need to check your credit report for any irregularities. Now remember that during the holidays, ID theft and fraud go way up. So check for accounts that you don't recognize or any incorrect balances, etc. And you may also want to check your score as well to see if it may have gone down due to credit utilization. And when I say that, utilization is how much you're using in credit. 30% of what makes up your FICO score is the balances that you have. So if you're above 30% balance of compared to your credit limit, then that's going to drop your score. Once you have a handle on your finances, then you may want to consider setting both short and long-term goals, which I'll discuss in a little while. And then you have to ask yourself, what are your goals? Are you saving up for a wedding, retirement, paying off debt, or perhaps a home purchase? Once you've figured out what your goals are, then you will need to establish a plan to achieve them. How much is it going to cost you, and when does it need to be achieved by? Once you have those numbers, then you'll know how much to put away each month. Now, if paying down debt is one of your goals, then make a list of all your debts, secured and unsecured, and devise a plan to get them down. You'll want to focus on those debts and stop spending frivolously. Now, I mentioned setting goals. What are your goals for 2018? Are you budgeting in order to achieve those goals? Hopefully you are. And then when you're setting these goals, long-term, mid-term, short-term, etc., you need to remember that your goals have to be SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and they have to have a timestamp. So the first one is specific. A specific goal has a much greater chance of being accomplished than a general goal. And in order to set a specific goal, you must answer the 6W questions. The first one is who. So, who is involved? The next is what. What is it you want to accomplish? Where? Identify a location. When? Again, establish a time frame. Which? That identify requirements and constraints. And then why? What's the specific reason, purpose, or benefit of accomplishing said goal? The next is measurable. You need to establish concrete criteria for measuring progress towards the attainment of each goal you set. When you measure your progress, you have a tendency to stay on track and reach your target dates, and then you experience the exhilaration of achievement that spurs you on to continued effort required to reach those goals. Now, next, is it attainable? When you identify what goals are most important to you begin to figure out ways you can make them come true. You develop the attitude, abilities, skills, and the financial capacity to reach them. You begin seeing previously overlooked opportunities to bring yourself closer to the achievement of your goals. The next is realistic. To be realistic, a goal must represent an objective towards which you are both willing and able to work. A goal can both be high and realistic at the same time. You are the only one who can decide just how high your goal should be. But be sure that every goal represents substantial progress. And then lastly, for the T, time stamped. A goal should be grounded within a time frame. With no time frame tied to it, there's no sense of urgency per se. Say you want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, well, when do you want to lose it by? Someday just won't work. But if you anchor it within a time frame and give yourself, say, by February 1st, then you set your unconscious mind into motion to begin working on that goal. Now remember, you can't measure what you don't track. Commit to monitoring your progress throughout the year to make sure that you're staying on track. So whether, again, if it's a new vacation, a home, or paying off debt, you need to monitor it constantly. Now I'm going to discuss budgeting because in order to attain those goals, you need to have a budget in place to see where your money's going and how you're going to achieve them. Okay, if you're already budgeting, then that's great. But if not, creating a budget is really simple. Now, there are 4 steps to creating said budget. The first is to add up all of your net income. And that's the money that you have coming into the household, whether it's from full-time work, part-time work, Social Security, child support, alimony, etc. That's the net income that you have coming in to the household. The next is adding up all of your expenses. There's 3 different types of expenses. There's fixed, flexible, and discretionary. The first is fixed. Those are expenses that remain the same every month. You know what they are, you know how much they're going to be all the time, such as mortgage, rent, your car payment, insurance, etc. Then you have flexible expenses. Now, these are things that you need as well, but they range month to month. That could be your utilities, gas, groceries, depending on what it is. And then lastly, there's discretionary expenses. Discretionary are the things that you want to do but don't necessarily need. So going to get your hair done, going for a manicure, going to the movies, eating out at fancy restaurants. Those are things that you want to do but don't necessarily need to. So once you have your total of all of your expenses and you have your total of all of your income, the next step is to subtract your expenses from your income. You're either going to be positive, which is known as the black, or you're going to be negative, which is known as the red, which means your expenses outweigh your income. So depending on where you are, then the last step would be to prioritize. If you're in the black, again, that's great. Then you won't have to find other ways to lower your expenses or earn additional income. But if you're in the red, then that's exactly what you're going to have to do. So once you have your budget in place, it will be easier to achieve those goals. You'll be able to see where your money is going and make changes as necessary. You'll be more in control of your money. Write everything down. Every time you spend money, write it down. This way, you'll be able to see what you're spending it on and where it's going. Now, many say that budgets are restraining, that they can't do the things that they want to because of the budget. Okay? And that's not the truth. Budgets help you to account for your money, they help you to achieve your savings goals, they put you in control. And remember that those who can account for their money are more in control of it. So now that you have your budget completed and can see where you're spending the most, you can take the steps needed to lower some of your monthly expenses. Now, I've talked about deciding what steps to take to reduce expenses or to earn additional income from perhaps getting another job or maybe cutting back on how much you eat out or you do your hair or making sure you turn the lights off in every room when you're not in them. Okay? Once you figure that out, you want to make a list of who you owe and how much you owe each of them. And if you have credit cards, which cards have the highest interest rate, which cards have the highest balance, etc. And then you have to prioritize how much each will get and who will get paid off first. Once you have this list, you can get a plan of action in place to take care of your debt. You may have to contact your creditors to work out payment arrangements, perhaps have them lower your interest rate if applicable, but I'll get more into detail about dealing with bills in the next few slides. So you want to commit to paying more than the minimum each month. Now I'm going to talk about two different types of ways to pay off debt. There's one, what is known as the debt snowball, and the other is known as the debt avalanche. And if you're serious about getting out of debt, then you have to have a plan on how you're going to achieve that. Now, the debt snowball, with this one, may work for some, it may not work for others. It all depends on you. This is where you pay off the lowest balance first and then continue until you pay off the largest and final balance last. So you start small, you work your way up. Then we have the debt avalanche. This is where you pay off the balance with the highest interest rate first, okay? Whatever has the highest interest rate. And then you continue to the next, and the next. And then the last one you pay off will be the one with the lowest interest rate. Now, the one with the lowest interest rate may have the highest balance. You never know. But this way, you're not paying that high interest while you pay off all the others. Okay? So now, while you're paying off your balances, obviously, you still need to pay all other obligations. And once one is completely paid off, the money that you were putting towards that, you can put more towards the next obligation and so forth. So that will help you get out of debt a lot quicker and hopefully, you won't be charging while you're paying down these other obligations. Now, a few warning signs of too much debt. One of them is you only make the minimum payment on your credit cards each month. Now, if you're only making the minimum payment, how are you ever going to finish paying them off? Because remember, most credit cards, the interest rates are high, they're in the double digits. And if you're only paying the minimum, your minimum payment's not even going to cover the interest that they're charging you. So that's one way to know that you have a warning sign of too much debt. Another one is you have at least one credit card that is near, at, or over the credit limit. Another one is you're occasionally making late payments on bills, credit cards, or other expenses. Perhaps you use cash advances to pay other bills, so you're taking from somewhere else to pay something. You bounce checks or overdraw your bank accounts. You don't know how much total debt you have, or you don't have any savings whatsoever. Now, all of those are signs of too much debt. Now, remember, with the first three, those will negatively affect your credit. And we live in a credit driven society where they check your credit for everything from employment to insurance, utilities, obviously, if you want to purchase a car or you're looking to buy a house, they check your credit for everything. So if you're near, at, or over your credit limit, that's going to lower your score and it looks bad. If you're late making your payments, that's going to lower your score as well. And no one's going to want to issue you any other type of credit because it's showing that you're consistently late or your utilization is super high and you don't look responsible. So those are the things that you want to look into and make sure you're staying on top of. A few risks of unmanaged debt, obviously, higher interest rates. Again, I was talking that's directly regarding credit. The lower your credit score, the higher the interest rates you have to pay if someone does approve you for something. Perhaps higher insurance premiums. You can be denied credit, just straight out. Denied rental of an apartment. Again, they check it for everything. Denied a job. Okay, there's heightened stress. Perhaps there's illness. And if you're in the military, your military security clearance can be denied. So this is the reason why you want to stay on top of everything. Make sure you're paying your bills. Know who you owe. Keep on top of that because once you pay down your debt, your credit improves and any doors open, whether it's for a job, a new apartment, etc. So you want to stay on top of everything. Now, staying on top of everything, this is what happens. You want to deal with the issues. Don't bury your head in the sand. It's a bad idea to avoid the issues when it comes to finances. Okay? You don't want to bury your head because you refuse to admit that something is true and that there is a problem. Remember, it's not going to go away on its own, but with time, effort, and discipline, it can be fixed. Always remember that being aware of your circumstances is essential to moving forward. You have to want it. Write down every time you spend money and make sure that what you are buying is something that you need, not just something that you want. You don't want to spend frivolously, excuse me. Did you search for the best price? Did you use coupons? Okay, those are things you want to do as well. Pay your bills on time, every time. That is extremely important. All right. Try to pay more than the minimum payment if you can. And if your bills are too much to handle, get help. There is no shame in asking for assistance. You can also speak to a member service representative at Prince George's Community Federal Credit Union about perhaps refinancing options that may save you money each month. Time, hard work, and discipline. Those are words to live by. Nothing in life is easy, and if it's too easy, then it's probably not worth it. So these are things that you have to want to do. You have to want to focus. You have to make yourself do the things that are necessary in order to get out of debt, pay your bills, get your credit right. And again, there's no shame in asking for assistance, none whatsoever. There are companies out there that are here to help you, okay? Help you with your budgeting, help you coach, and all these other things that they can do. So right now, I would like to introduce Charmaine Buckner from Prince George's Community Federal Credit Union to discuss getting what is known as a financial checkup. Charmaine, can you hear me?
Yes. Good morning, Charmaine, or good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
All right. Thanks for having me in this webinar today. And you did a great job on talking about just being prepared and asking, knowing your resources around you and so forth. So I just wanted to talk briefly about our financial checkup that we offer to our members, and it's primarily just geared to helping them stay aligned with their financial goals for the year. And what it basically is just a conversation, just understanding where you're trying to go and understanding some of the programs that we have available to kind of help guide you towards that a little bit faster. With a financial checkup, and actually this is a promotion that's being offered to the end of February. Anyone that comes in and gets a financial checkup with us and applies for a loan and so forth, that we're going to give them a $50 gift card. If you'd like to learn more about it, you could just visit our website, princegeorgescfcu.org/debt, or just stop by one of our branches or give us a call and we can really guide you through that. But Charmaine, one of the other things that I like to mention as well too that we offer as resources to help people in this whole planning stage, or some of the tools, some of the major tools that we offer are things such as alerts that members can get within online banking. If their balance reaches a certain amount, or if a transfer takes place, or if they've attained a certain amount inside their savings and so forth, they can have alerts that they set up for that. Also in online banking, there are a number of tools that they could use to download balances, to categorize different areas, such as, you may have something for entertainment versus you may have money set aside that you're saving for a rainy day or whatever the case may be. There are different tools inside there that they could use to help them, get closer to those goals. So just to kind of sum it up, talk to us. Just come on in and talk to us. We would love to get you closer to wherever your goals are for 2018.
That's great. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd want to let us know about what Prince George's have to offer, or?
Well, just the next slide, if you could just go to the next slide. We are the credit union of the county. If you live, work, worship, or volunteer here, you're welcome to open an account. And one of the main reasons that we exist is because of our members. We have some of the most attractive loan rates when you compare us to banks nationwide. We have some of the most attractive loan rates and savings rates and less fees. So come check us out, check out our website, or just give us a call, and you can learn a little bit more about how we can help you to move closer to your goals.
That's great. Thank you, Charmaine. I would like to open it up now for any questions. Feel free to type them into the question bar on the right-hand side of your screen. If there's anything that you would like to know, if there's anything that we can help you with, it's a pleasure for us to help out and answer any questions that you may have. So I'll give you guys a second to do that, and then okay, someone raised their hands. We have a question. Okay, so the first question is, how can coffee help me in budgeting? Okay, so there are a number of tools that we can do to help you with budgeting. There's budgeting worksheets on the website. I'm not exactly sure. Charmaine, quick question. Do you guys have a direct link through your site to the coffee portal?
No, we currently do not. But if they contact a member service representative, they can guide them through with a budgeting worksheet, or to contact Coffee directly on the number that's listed on the screen.
Yes, the 866-459-5165 number, and they could walk you through the steps for creating said budget. There's another question here. It says, what tools do you have available to help in this progress? Okay, so I think we answered both of those with the same one. Yeah, so again, contact Coffee representative or contact your member services representative, and they'd be more than happy to help you on your steps towards budgeting, again, savings, tips on how to get out of debt, etc., and perhaps maybe a refi, like I mentioned earlier, right, Charmaine, that you probably could get more attractive loan rates and pay less interest over time. So that would
actually
help as well.
Something, Charmaine? Charmaine, I would like to mention something too. We do have another tool on our website that it's really eye-opening when people go into there. It's the Loan Saver Calculator that's located on our homepage to the right-hand side. And what you can do with that loan calculator is you can put in debt that you may have at other organizations and see how it compares to our lowest rate. And a lot of people that go into that calculator find many a times that our rates and what we can offer is drastically less. Sometimes we're not the best, but sometimes we are. And it just takes just going into the calculator and see what we have available, or again, just contacting us and seeing what we can do for you with your credit score and with your debt that you may have at other financial institutions.
Okay, thank you. That's great. So it looks like that's all the questions that we have today. Hopefully we answered your questions and that you got a lot of good information. Again, on the right-hand side in your menu bar is the notes from today's presentation that you can download everything that I discussed and then some. in the notes. And thank you all again. So I just want to thank you for attending today's educational webinar. To learn more about Prince George's Community Federal Credit Union or to speak to a member services representative, again, you can call the number on your screen or you can visit the website. To schedule your free 60-minute financial coaching session, please call Coffee at 866-459-5165. If you enjoyed today's webinar, please be sure to visit www.princegeorgescfcu.org/lunch and learn to check out a list of topics for the year. So thank you all again and have a great day.